What sparked investing for me was the GameStop short squeeze because it was the first opportunity I saw where retail investors, the small guys, the little guys, were able to fight against the Wall Street banks and fight against the big conglomerates.
You're listening to IBKR's Census Security. Find more conversations at ibkrpodcast.com. Please remember, any trading discussions are for information purposes only and are not intended to portray recommendations. Please listen to further disclosures at the end of today's episode. Now, welcome to our show.
Hi, I'm your host, Rebecca Degter, and today I'm joined by the former president of Rye High School's investing club, Chris Guazzo, whose fascination for investing began during the short squeeze impacting GameStop among other so-called meme stocks. By following the news during the GameStop short squeeze, Chris realized that anyone could become a successful investor. He is here today to teach us various financial concepts such as the S&P 500, sector-specific investing, and much more. As a college student, practically no one reveals the basics of investing. Through Chris's wisdom and advice, you too can become a future investor. And because Chris touches on a lot of interesting concepts, such as starting to think about retirement, using a 401k plan, and staying abreast of the financial markets by subscribing to our Traders Insight newsletter. For additional information to these concepts and much more, take a look at the links in this episode's show notes to help you learn more about investing from Interactive Brokers Traders Academy. Now, tune in for what they don't teach you in the classroom, Investing-101. Hi, Chris. Can you tell me a little bit about your experience running the Investor Club at Rye High School and what the goal is, per se?
So at Rye High School, running the investment club was a pretty challenging experience because it opened up a lot of doors of opportunity, but also a lot of things that I had never experienced. With the club, to focus on the goal, I'll take from our mission statement, where we say, students will learn various means by which to analyze stocks and other types of investments, such as high-yield bonds and private equity, as well as participate in stock simulations and learn valuable real-world knowledge from guest speakers. So that kind of summarizes what we focus on. We try to focus on bringing information and financial literacy to high school kids who are kind of learning about the investment atmosphere and how they can kind of get started and get involved.
That's great. So, as a beginner myself, how should a beginner start their investing journey?
When you start your journey, it would probably be best to set some goals for yourself. With investing, you can go for generational wealth, or you can go to have fun and try to pick stocks. But most importantly, set a goal. Set the outcome that you want to achieve, and that way you can stay focused along the way, and you can take time to have fun on the side, but also can still reach your goals by the end.
Awesome. So let's bring it back a little bit to the basics. Can you tell me what investing is in a nutshell?
So investing is finding oftentimes a company, but it could be real estate property, but finding something that is undervalued by however you determine value, and then purchasing it in an attempt that its value will increase, or it will provide a passive income flow.
Awesome. So how do people invest with little income? Is this even possible?
One of the best ways is to join your company's 401k if they have a 401k match policy, or to invest in a traditional or Roth IRA.
So why are you unlikely to quote unquote win when picking stocks?
Stock picking and trying to find the perfect company can be a very difficult challenge. I'd say that one of the best examples on why that challenge is difficult is when you look at hedge fund managers who spend 80 hours a week with hundreds of people on their teams. They themselves struggle to find the best companies that will always beat the market. And so for you, as somebody who's trading as a side hustle or on top of your real job, it'll be hard for you to have the time and have the availability to research every company and to find the best options to invest in.
Okay, Chris, what resources do you use yourself to find out more of this information?
So I'm a big fan of the Interactive Brokers newsletter, as well as their Traders Academy. Their Traders Academy has a lot of videos and resources that can help young traders understand what indexes are, what options are, what futures are, but as well as they have more technical analysis that can focus on candlestick patterns and the like. I'm also a big proponent of Bloomberg Live TV. Even if it's something I just have running in the background through my headphones, it can help me just take in more information and hear about different perspectives on the current economic landscape.
Can you tell me a little bit more about the S&P 500? Because I always hear this word thrown around and I never really know what it quite means.
So the S&P 500 in and of itself is an index. And what that means is it's a collection of the 500 biggest companies on the U.S. stock exchanges. And it measures how their stocks change, whether they go up or down, based on different things in the market, whether it be interest rate changes or it just be earnings calls for each individual company. So what it essentially does is the index measures the market, but if you want to invest in the index, you have to buy ETFs, exchange-traded funds, and those are created to best model the index. If the index goes up 1%, the best ETFs will also go up 1%. If the index goes down 5%, the best ETFs will also go 5%, because the goal of the ETF isn't to beat the index, it's to match the index as perfectly as possible.
That's great. So how did you yourself get into investing?
What sparked investing for me was the GameStop short squeeze, because it was the first opportunity I saw where retail investors, the small guys, the little guys, were able to fight against the Wall Street banks and fight against the big conglomerates in an attempt to save a company that a lot of people cared about and a lot of people valued. And I think that avenue of investing really opened the floodgates for me, because it just sparked my interest and caused me to start reaching out and find things like the Interactive Brokers newsletter where I could gain more information and increase my knowledge base.
I hear a lot about sector-specific investing. Could you tell me a little bit more about that? Because I know we glossed over the S&P 500 before, but I really want to dive into the nitty-gritty at the end of the podcast.
Yeah, so that's a great question. Sector investing is oftentimes done through the S&P 500, where the S&P 500 breaks down into, I think, 13 different sectors, which go from consumer spending, consumer goods, to communications, to military applications, and defense companies. And so when you look at sector-specific investing, you can look at something like the energy market. The energy market and a lot of the oil and gas companies are held very tightly to the price of crude oil per barrel. That price can fluctuate a lot, whether like a Middle Eastern country limits their production or whatnot. So when you focus specifically on a sector, you can be more prone to specific moves within that industry.
That's also great. Okay, so what are you doing now? What are you hoping to do for a career or college? I hear you just graduated high school. Huge congratulations.
Thank you. Next year, I'll be attending SUNY Binghamton, and while I'm there, I plan to graduate with a bachelor's degree for business administration in 3 years, thanks to the amount of AP credits I took in high school. And then with that fourth year, to still kind of have that 4-year college experience, I plan to take advantage of Binghamton's 1-year MBA program, so that after my 4 years of the traditional college experience, I will have an extra set of qualifications to kind of take me to that next step into the workforce and help me go down whatever path I choose.
Lastly, do you have any advice for young adults everywhere?
I'd say the best and absolute best thing you can do is increase your knowledge base. Go look out for new information. Look out for newsletters. Stay on top of what's happening in the news every day. Stay on top of what happens if the Fed increases interest rates and how that will affect you. Stay on top of whether inflation is predicted to go up or down. Educate yourself. Go online. In our new world with endless amount of resources and endless amount of online links and online websites, there's always more information to be found and always more ways to educate yourself. And then lastly, I'd say set goals. Be realistic in your journey and set manageable goals that you can kind of hold yourself to. But at the same time, if you're not meeting those goals, don't put too much pressure on yourself. Not every day can be a win in the stock market, and not every day can be a great day investing. But it's about every day learning from those mistakes and continuing to push forward.
Well, thank you so much, Chris, for joining us here on IBKR Podcasts.
Thank you so much for having me. It's been a great experience.
Thanks for listening to IBKR's Sense of Security. As always, there's more content at IBKRpodcast.com. And if you're interested in learning more about interactive brokers, visit IBKR.com. We offer more trading education content such as webinars, market commentary, market-related courses, and quant-related articles at IBKRcampus.com. The analysis in this material is provided for information only and is not and should not be construed as an offer to sell or the solicitation of an offer to buy any security. To the extent that this material discusses general market activity, industry or sector trends, or other broad-based economic or political conditions, it should not be construed as research or investment advice. To the extent that it includes references to specific securities, commodities, currencies, or other instruments, those references do not constitute a recommendation by IBKR to buy, sell, or hold such investments. This material does not and is not intended to take into account the particular financial conditions, investment objectives, or requirements of individual customers. Before acting on this material, you should consider whether it is suitable for your particular circumstances and, as necessary, seek professional advice. Options involve risk and are not suitable for all investors. For more information, read the characteristics and risks of standardized options, or ODD, which may be accessed through the link found in the podcast description page. Any discussion or mention of an ETF is not to be construed as recommendation, promotion, or solicitation. All investors should review and consider associated investment risks, charges, and expenses of the investment company or fund prior to investing. Before acting on this material, you should consider whether it is suitable for your particular circumstances and, as necessary, seek professional advice.